like I said at the beginning, you were a part of the shop. You took over for the shop. When I left to become a drone instructor. So what, like, from the, did you have like a time where you're like, okay, I'm gonna probably stay in, or did you always have in mind like, hey, I'm gonna do this for and get out?
Oh man, it's so crazy you asked me about that is because I literally just had this conversation recently and I just remembered. When I got hit with a turret, that was like literally my first year and a half being in, right? That caused a lot of problems, and I really felt it on my body. I really felt it on my lower back. I really was going through a lot mentally with like being antagonized every day at work, like suicidal stuff, dude. Like the medication, like bad reaction to it. I don't know, man. It was just, my first career was really, really, really tough. And I remember when I was at school, there was a gunny that stepped in on a racist incident and allowed me to handle it the old Marine Corps way, and which was really nice. It was way better that way. And I asked him for advice, you know what I'm saying? And he said, re-enlist. You got to re-enlist because your second contract is the Marine Corps. Your first contract, you're in school, you're training, you're somebody's nugget. You know what I'm saying? That you won't really get the Marine Corps until you re-enlist. So I always knew that I wasn't going to put in a re-enlistment package just because,
Right.
just so I couldn't say I just backed out. And then, I'll tell you, before I joined though, I was for sure going to be a 20-year. There was nothing that kept me from being 20-year. Nothing.
Right.
I'll just say that performing well during a very stressful time, my re-enlistment package came back around that very same time.
Right.
Absolutely under the influence of alcohol, provided by up top, and in celebration of life, you know what I'm saying? Thank God. And hey, your package came back. Well, who said yes? And I just did it. I just signed it. I signed it in the bowling alley. This is so embarrassing. I signed it in the bowling alley, and I made sure I was on the lane, and it was on the lane applicable. It was myself and Captain, I forgot her name. I know her call sign. I know her original call sign.
You're not talking about Steinmetz, are you?
Judy. That was her original thing. And then it got revoked.
I
forgot her call.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
God, not Baker.
She
I
was
can
the
see her.
best.
I can see her face.
She was the best. I love her energy. She was the best. If I could ever see her again, I'd be like, you were so awesome. Love you to death. But she was there. I was in boots and utes with clown shoes because we're at the bowling alley. And she's like, do you want to, like, we walked halfway down the bowling alley and signed literally in the lane and got a picture and everything. And I forgot one of the officers. He was awesome. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit, and he like permanent markered his forehead, like the eyebrows together. It was a really good time, man. And then when I woke up from way too much beer, I realized I re-enlisted. And then it took me 2 years to go to school because I'm recovering from another TBI, man. So I was at 268 for a long time, man. Like a half a decade, man. I was there a long time, man.
That's about, I think I was about 5.5 years total in the Marine Corps. So I was probably there I got there in 2005, and I left in 2010. So yeah, 5 years. Yeah, almost exactly 5 years I was there. Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's definitely good to kind of like recap certain things, especially when you haven't talked to somebody like in depth in a while. You tend to always bring up things like, oh, I forgot about that, or I forgot about this. But so that was your, you did two enlistments and then transitioned out. So like,
Yeah.
But what is it that you are doing now? And did you prepare yourself prior to getting out, or did you get out?
I did. No, I did. So I had lat moved. When I signed for the lateral move, I waited 2 years. It took me 2 years and some change to even go to school. And then when I did, the school was like, man, this guy's, he needs to get some help. So when I went to my new unit, they were like, okay, we see it too. They were afraid to put me in the field, bro. They didn't let me. I wasn't allowed to go in the field. I didn't spend not one day. I never checked out my gun. They were really worried about me, like for real. And then they're like, hey, if you're really a good leader, you know what I'm saying? Like, a good leader will get help, because, a young guy, young cat will see you get help and do the same thing. Right. So I did that. And that's when I went to IOP, and that's when I really had my eyes open. And then I got the brain scan, and then they found the scar tissue behind my left eye, and they were like, damn, it's not even your fault. That makes sense. That's why your smell, your sight, and all these other things, like, boom, that's where it's at. And then, the school was THCU. I wanted to learn how to cultivate my own crops when I got out of the military. And when I learned about Denver at the time was the only place to was doing it accredited at the time. So I went to Denver, and then I found out that the school was actually online. So I came back to the battalion at Wounded Warrior, and I started doing all my studies. And then I got a scholarship to Cal Poly Pomona for the Sustainable Agriculture program. So like, it was just like agriculture. And then and then it was like an advocacy thing. And I won't go too deep on your stuff because I know you're still in, but like, that was a really, really weird time to be the only person in the military with an accredited education in cannabis and ask questions and just ask questions and really not have anybody have the answer. And it really put me in a position to where, like, when I was asking questions to like Dr. Ben Umalu, like concussion, Will Smith, like, I don't know. It really, really put me in a place where people knew that I was really onto something. And what I'm really trying to do, man, this is my end goal. My end goal is building a program that operates in the very same way that the VA operates, the way the GI Bill operates, or anything like that. So if you look back historically, the VA provides medical, right? We have the VA home loan and the VA medical system. We also have the GI Bill. That all came by way of active duty and veteran World War I and World War II when they created the American Legion. So the American Legion created these programs, and now they got picked up, and now these big programs. I want a transitional housing program. If we are seeing people die, if we're seeing 22 to 74 daily veteran suicides and pharmaceutical-related deaths, and most of them are the biggest peak of these suicides and pharmaceutical-related deaths are month 6, we really need to change the average on VA return time, month 9. So we're getting at 6 months is when we're getting out the military. 6 months later, suicide. 3 months later, average return time for VA compensation. That needs to change. That needs to change.